Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Welcome to Sunday Yin and Yoga with Simone. C'est moi, Simone. um, we're going to be practicing a Yin practice today. Just going to get a little feed on sound here, a little info. And you can also let me know in the chat if all sounds well. Morning sunshine. Takes one to know one. Grab yourself 2 blocks for practice today, please. If you don't have 2 blocks, please at least grab some sort of buffer. I would suggest a rolled up bath towel, 2 of those. There we are. And another option for that is kind of like a bolster pillow or something that you put on the couch. Hi, Mom. Good morning. Playlist is the link is in the chat, but of course it's also in my Spotify. If you follow me, it's my friend Simone is my handle name, and it's today's date. What did I call this playlist? Oh yeah, Yin, Sunday, December 20th. But just a little bit of spoiling alert here. It is a jazzy Yin Sunday today. So we're going to have some jazz, smooth jazz. Hope you guys are feeling good. I hope you guys enjoyed the practice yesterday if you're on the 30-day challenge and you were with us. And yeah, we did a practice where I tried to weave in some of the bandha work, which was already always there in terms of the first 20 days of practice, right? But it's kind of a nice time this far into what we're doing to kind of bring more awareness to these bandhas, which are specifically locks in your body, intentional locks in your body that you create to fire up a pose, trigger a pose into a deeper expression, or to also help movement in your practice. And it's really, really good. Essentially, when you lock off energy, you stop the energy, right? You kind of constrict it like you would in an eagle pose. You're all wrapped up. Stop the blood flow. You stop what's happening in the body for a beat, only so that you can release the energy and kind of trigger new energy, new blood flow, fresh oxygen. So that's the benefit and the reason for activating your bandhas more intentionally is to stop something, constrict it, and then release it so that you can flush out something new. Flush in, flush out, all that kind of stuff. I'm selfishly going to run a heating pad, which FYI, if you ever want to do that for your yin, you can also do that. I'll see how I have to maneuver it here and there, but I'm just going to run it and see if it helps things along with an injury that I've been dealing with. But it can just also feel nice in a yin practice to move around when you do move or shift into your poses with a heating blanket pad. We're going to start in just 1 minute. This yin practice today. 2 blocks, please. Also, too, if you are doing the playlist, you're on Spotify, of course, but one of the things that you want to be aware of, these headphones, they're real fun. One of these things you want to be aware of in your practice with Spotify is that your playlist, when you follow my playlist, is not on what do they call it? Like when they toss up the songs, like it's escaping me the actual word. But you wanna hit those arrows at the bottom so that they all disappear and they're not green, so that they're playing the playlist in order. Because typically I create these playlists, certainly when we're flowing, to match where we are in the practice. I swear we're gonna start. We're gonna start as soon as I can get these headphones in. All right, guys. It is 8:01 Pacific, 11:01 Eastern. My bad. Sorry about the minute, but we're going to get started. So if you want to, we'll start on our back body. Just bring your devices nearby if you're using a device so that you can hit your playlist as I count it down. Have a really great practice, day 20 people. Thanks for joining, to those that are newer to the challenge or are not on the 30-day challenge. Whatever brings you here, thanks for coming. I'm going to count in the playlist at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hit play. About now, you might just exhale your breath. You can make it audible, hum, ha, or sigh. Just notice the give up and the back body heavy to the mat. You're going to take your 2 props. Hopefully they're within arm's length. Whether they're blocks or towels or little lifts of the pillow. And you're going to micro bend your legs and slip those props underneath your thighs, just so you feel your legs lift in this shavasana. You can relax your legs, mostly long, but there'll be a little slight bend in the knees as your thighs heavy onto your props. And you might feel your hands towards your hips and your pelvic floor here, and just kind of feel. And then take a pretty intentional big inhale so your hands lift a bit as you fill your body up. And a slow but steady exhale. And then imagine the breath running up the length of your spine for your inhale. You might need to visualize that so that you get a true breath in. And a slow out the nose breath out. And stretch your arms overhead. And reach your fingers a little long and open the length of your body here, especially through the torso, a little more space in the ribs, lower back. And breathe in and out. And then bring your arms forward again. And then kind of press through the elbows to high your heart. And sit your heart up as you prop yourself up on your forearms and your elbows. And then get up to a sit, slow and steady. And you can bend your legs here so your thighs are off of the blocks or whatever props you're using. And we're going to run down the length of the spine, starting at the top. So you're going to take one of your props that's going to go high across your back body, horizontally. And you're going to feel for where that might end up. And I'm sneaking mine underneath my little heating blanket. And you'll go down onto it. And then you'll see if you can let your head hang down lower than your heart center. If that's too much for you, or if you don't like the opening in your neck body, we're anatomically built a little differently, so it might not suit you. But if you can be with the stretch in your neck body and hang your head heavy, you get a little bit of an inversion here, and you get a little bit of the massage through your thyroid and a little opening of your neck body that might serve into the front of your shoulders as well. And then you really want to let go into that upper back body. It's grounding into your prop. And you want to let go in a way that you can feel your body hug around the block. Hug around your prop in a way so that it almost feels like it's encasing it. It's that kind of trust onto the space. And what that trust and that encasing into your prop will do is just relieve more and more tightness through the upper back, along with maybe the stories and stress that go with it. You see, because in yin, we want to avoid trying to hold ourselves in the pose. And what we really want to do is let go of ourselves in the pose. You want to feel your jaw soft. Maybe echo that into the eyes closed. The jaw has the ability to affect your neck body and your shoulder body. Trust me, I know a little bit about this, given where my shoulder is at these days. So just notice what you're doing, not only in this practice with your jaw, but if you can pause yourself throughout life to see your jaw, feel your jaw let go. And then as you get more centered to letting go, just follow your breath in through the nose and into your body. Out from your body and out through the nose. I'm going to hold a little longer today. Might mean a few less poses. Getting a little more bang for our buck. You know, I love A couple things about where we are in the physical body and what it might trigger. You might feel a kind of heavy head at the hairline, at the crown of the head, as the blood flow kind of hangs out there if your head's hanging back. You might feel a little stimulation in your sinuses if you're at all stuffed up or dealing with allergies. Stimulating something means moving it along. And take one more breath in through the nose. And when you get to the top of your inhale, hold it in your body. Feel a bit of a balloon expression of your body. See if you can get another sip of inhale in. And then let go. Get to the very bottom of the exhale before you feel the necessity to move. Maybe put one hand behind the head. Help your head up so that your chin gets a little higher than the heart. Put your elbows and forearms to the ground. Sit your heart up. Pause here. And take a deep breath in. And then sit up, slow and steady, breath out. Remove the props from behind you, whether they're just the one or the two, and then lie back down on your flat back. He's never truly flat, but find the neutral expression here of Shavasana. Quiet for just 2 more breaths. You make those 2 breaths happen. And after those 2 breaths, you're going to slowly take a seat again. You can get your heart back up. You might 2-step it or slowly step it into a sit. And you're going to take your prop yet again at a lower height again. And you're going to go horizontally down a little further on your back body so that that block is behind the heart of your rib cage. I'm sneaking in the blanket, that heating blanket again. Now, when you lie back, you're going to have your bum grounded onto the ground. So that base of the sacrum there. And you're going to have your head grounded. And then you're going to feel an incredible, almost confrontational push open of your rib cage, the splaying of your front body open as it pushes through to your back body as though trying to get through something. This pose is confrontational in that it feels like it's fighting a kind of natural state of our body. But I might argue a bit that we hold a lot of junk here, a lot of stress. And the more stress and the more stuff we take on, the more we close in on this part of our body. Try and keep your legs wide, your thighs soft, and your bum even softer. Just letting go so that it might even fan your toes open wider and wider till your legs have almost no charge in them. You're not holding the pose, you're letting go into the pose. There's still a little bit of an opening on that neck body, but it'll feel a little less intense because the top of your back body is a little closer to the mat. Where we're hitting the arch is more in our midsection. And through that midsection of our back body is encasing our prop in the same way that the top body was in the previous pose. It's almost like our body could mold around the pose, sweetly hugging our prop. We're here for about another minute. Every time you feel yourself wander to the grocery list, to the conversation, to the phone call, to the friend, on and on, count. Count 1 through 10 and breathe slowly. Redirect your attention to the simple count and the simple breath. And the more you give over to the physical letting go of this pose, you not only feel sensation through the rib cage and the midsection of your back, but you might even notice a gentle pull into your hip creases, down a little bit into your pelvic floor, all connected, all letting go. When it feels especially tough, like you've hit that wall, take a bigger breath in, fill your tummy and your chest, and find that audible exhale that counters the idea that this is possible. And we'll take one more breath together. Take an inhale to that very top. Hold. Take another sip in. Fill up. And then we'll let it go. Spread your mouth wide. Take one of your hands, whichever one's inclined to do it. Pick up your head slow. You're going to feel a little bit of containment in your belly, like you're doing a mini sit-up. Head higher than the heart. Put your elbows and forearms to the ground. Stand your heart up. Pause. Slow. And then stand up through the torso into a sit. Take a pause. Breathe in and out. Remove the prop again. Head right back down into Shavasana. Two smooth breaths here, in and out. I'm just going to invite you to notice your space around you. And if you have a little more space towards the back of your mat, you can either slide down towards the back of your mat so that you give a little more space to the front of your mat, or you can sit up and do that. I got my reasons for that little trick. Step the soles of your feet onto the mat once you're on your back body again. Press your palms down by your hips. Ground through the hands, ground through the feet, ground through your paws. And pick up your hips. Breathe in. Squeeze a little bit of your bum there. Make her smile. Put that bum down. Breathe out. Two more. Inhale, the hips high. Squeezing a little bit. Exhale, the bum, sacrum down. This time as you lift, you might lift your arms overhead and breathe in to lift the hips. Press through the upper back, identify that. And then bring the arms forward and down as you put the bum down on your exhale. Breathe all the breath out. Take a pause. You're going to grab one prop. Ooh. And you're going to take your prop on the lowest height again. Hips up, sacrum up. Slip the prop underneath your sacrum, not underneath your bum cheeks, guys. So your sacrum is just a little bit up from your bum cheeks, from the heart of your glutes. And then as you feel that, just ground and throw away your weight of your sacrum onto your prop, whether it's your block or a bolster pillow. And pause and take about 2 more breaths. When you're breathing here, you should feel a little sensation, meaning stretch, in that lower back sacrum area, even through the front of the hips. And you're going to take your second prop at the same height, expression, shape. You're going to press through your feet and lift your hips, pelvic floor a little higher, maybe even get onto the balls of the feet to get even higher. And then you're going to slip your second prop on top of that first prop so that you're higher up. And then as you ground your sacrum onto that second prop, you're also noticing your upper back body and how that touches base to your mat. Similarly to how we just noticed it when we brought our arms overhead for a little flow into bridge. It's like you've manufactured a bit of a shoulder stand. Place your palms down. Look your fingers more towards the back of your mat. Breathe into all the nooks and crannies that are making a little bit of noise here. I can feel it in my sacrum. I can feel it in my pelvic floor. I can feel it pulling in to the tops of my hips and legs. The joining factors there. Let yourself ground into the upper back body and lift one foot at a time. so that your knees are pointing straight up to the sky. Kick one leg at a time, up to the sky. Try and enjoy yourself being here and feel grounding in your sacrum so that you're not feeling like you're teetering. That might mean walking your props a little more under you or walking your shoulders forward or back so that your sacrum can really ground to your props. Once you feel grounded, you can hang out here a little more easily. Legs mostly straight, but not firing up straight. This is a super challenging pose for a lot of people. We're in an inversion, but we're also stimulating a bunch of circulation in our body. So it's completely natural to feel a kind of tingling emerge in your legs and toes. Do your best to stay quiet to the pose, to stay in. And if you notice the wander, whatever that wander may be, probably a bit loaded with your to-do list, get back to paying attention to your breath and maybe just a simple count up to the number 10 and then back again. You can turn your head slowly to the right, almost like you're hitting your right ear to your mat, and feel a little gentle stretch through the left side of your neck. And breathe in and out for that. Imagine your head's like a bowling ball. That way you roll it slow to center and you get a little massage through and around the side of your head into the center. And then you can roll your head to the left. Maybe your left ear touches down. A little gentle stretch through the right side of your neck. And slower than you think you need to move. What does it mean to rock slowly through the head back to center? And literally feel a kind of press from your mat, the floor, into your head en route. Flex your feet and spread your toes so you're charging your heels up to the sky. Breathe in. Point your toes. Breathe out. Put your hands on your thighs. Fingers look up to the knees and then slowly bend the legs to free that kind of stimulation of the feet and the legs, releasing new energy down. Breathe in and out. And then I want you to put the knees in towards the chest as close as you can start to feel the bum pick up. And maybe rock back and pick up the sacrum off the block until you plow your spine. Now it's really important that you notice that the weight is bearing down on your upper back, not on your neck body. And what you're doing is you're super duper rounding the spine, holding a bit of stability here with your hands. Maybe you slide the blocks more forward towards your head to kind of be up against your back body so that you feel supported there. And you're creating a huge rounding through your spine as you base down on your upper back body, not your neck. It's called Plow Pose. You might feel big waves of breath across your midsection here, slow and steady. If this feels like it's not accessible to you, you could take the blocks away from underneath you and just hug your knees into your chest and create a little rounding through the spine that way. It'll be a little less, but that might do it for you too. For those still in plow, I want you to take 2 breaths in and out. Heavy your feet and your shins and your knees. And if you slid the blocks a little closer, slide them away from the base of your spine. Take your hands to your lower back and pick up your head a bit so you're out of your neck as you roll your sacrum back onto the blocks. Roll your legs forward. Let yourself roll out of it. And if there's still props underneath you, take them away, 1 prop at a time. And get out of a rounding expression on your spine, whether you were hugging the knees in or rolling out of plow. And get your spine mostly neutral and long and come back to Shavasana with props to the side, legs long, heart open. Simmer down. Real quiet body, just 2 more breaths right here. Take a little bit of a pause and then step your feet onto the mat. 1 foot at a time. And you're going to roll onto your side body, fetal position. I'm going to suggest the right, but if it makes you face away from your screen, then roll to your left. If it doesn't matter, then go to your right. And as you roll to your side body, bring your props in front of you. curl up in the fetal position. Be sweet here. You can use your hand as a pillow. You might use one of your props as a pillow. It should feel kind of relieving to suddenly open your back body. So take advantage of that opening and breathe across and up and down the back body. Feel for the space you can create. And then as you hug your knees in and high in line with your hips, I want you to translate that, leaving your legs where they are. And you're going to roll your chest and torso open, so that you're creating a twist pretty deep into the spine, because we're coming at it from the fetal position. If your top knee starts to lift as you honor that twist, take one of your props and put it in between your thighs so that you don't have to do any work here, like shoving your knee down or using your arm strength. You want to take away the to-dos or the firing up of the body here. You want to simmer that down. Again, we're not holding in the pose, we're letting go in the pose. And your head will mostly look up to center unless it can look over that shoulder in the opposite direction to enhance that twist. And in a way, the fun way of this is to really explore your breath, the pattern of breath, the scope of breath, how much inhale you can bring in, how slow you can exit your exhale. And just notice how it kind of dances with your twist. You can visualize your breath weaving in and through and out and in and through ribs, across and side to side lungs. And the more you make space for seeing how your breath enters and exits the body, the more honest you'll be about capturing that breath in this shape. It's a surefire way of not cheating yourself out of the business of breath. I'm going to find about 3 more breaths here where you capture the essence of letting go into this body. Just kind of letting go into the heaviness across the front of the shoulders and even across your neck body and up into your head. that bowling ball head. For 3. And for 2. One big breath in together to fill up and up and up all the way till you can't fill anymore. And letting it go. Same way you got in, you start to rock your head back to center if he was off to the side. As you rock it over and over towards that fetal initial start position, you're going to bring your torso with you. If you have a prop in between your legs, I want you to get rid of that prop and lie in the fetal position. Rock back over onto your back body. Soles of the feet onto the mat, knees look up. And as you rock to the fetal position on the other side, bring your props with you so they're in front of your heart and gaze. Option to prop your head up onto your prop or create a pillow with your hand. Feel for what this gives you through the back body, through the opening. Also lying on the other side of you, right? Acknowledge every little detail of the practice. That's how these details become significant. It's only by you seeing and feeling them. You can blow through almost anything. You don't get a proper view of things that way. You can take another breath in and another breath out. Curl your knees up towards your hips. That makes the twist that we're going to get into a little more intense. Roll your chest open. Maybe walk that bottom shoulder into a better position for twist. See if you might even tap down the other shoulder blade. As you endeavor to do that, for me, my top leg picks up. But that's how you want to articulate the twist. So I'll just take a prop, I'll put it in between my thighs, and that way I can be. I can be in the twist with the upper back body to the mat. I can almost feel this twist being ringed out. And as I get deeper into breath, it'll feel a little more like home over time. That's why we hold these shapes for a little bit of time here. The truth about yin practice is, in some ways, is the gateway to honesty, right? You're moving so slow that you feel at times like nothing is happening. And then you're being so still that you feel at times nothing is happening. And then when you notice what's happening, your stories, your perception, the very subtle changes in your body, it's usually at that point that you try and make something else happen. That's why movement in a way, is such an addiction. That's why with any yoga practice, we must also know stillness. That's why we loop around to that shavasana in our flows. It's not because we balance in Bakasana or head into Warrior Twos that something is happening. It's just a little sweet pathway into the bigger what's happening. For the next almost minute of this shape on this side, could you take a breath in, get to the top, hold that breath, exhale to the very bottom, get to empty, and hold on empty. And run through a couple of breaths that way. Complete one more breath in and out. After that next exhale, you're slowly rocking your head back towards that bottom shoulder. And as it rocks, you'll bring that top arm with you back into the fetal position. If you have a prop between your thighs, get rid of that guy and take at least one beat, one breath in your fetal position. Back onto your back body. It's a kind of home base for this entire practice. Soles of the feet initially are on the ground, knees looking up. And then you're going to want to stretch your legs out. Neutral spine. Shavasana, Shavasana. Sometimes getting out of a twist into Shavasana, you'll start to notice one side a little longer than the other, which is why you take back your spine to that neutral place and just kind of iron out the kinks. And then what you don't iron out to what you deem perfection or totally flat, you just live with. It's a bit of insight. It's your body being your body. Just notice. And then notice the gift of notice. I'm going to invite you to get into a child's pose. You can sit up, you can rock and roll to a seat, or you can roll over. This is kind of more my vibe in a yin, like a big beach whale. Ooh, and slide in to this child's pose as low as you can stay to the ground to do it. When you're getting into child's pose, bring your knees together. And in that child's pose, knees together, it'll allow for more space to round your spine, kind of like our plow pose did for a beat. You can kiss your forehead to the mat, or you can put blocks underneath your forehead if the mat doesn't come to you. Or you can slip a prop under your heart. How do you make yourself relax to your mat, to your foundation? And then big inhales through the nose so that you feel a stretch across the whole back body, up and down the whole back body. And slow, steady, smooth out the nose exhales. So that as you exhale, this heaviness emerges onto your foundation, maybe even with a sweet little ache as you let go of that hold. We're here for a little bit so that we feel the opening in our ankles, the press into our shins. If you need a little padding under your knees, create that. Maybe it's with a blanket. Maybe it's with a sweater. Try and be able to let go into the foundation. Notice how you can soften your fingers and soften your jaw. Two more breaths together. Breathe in. Out the mouth, part your lips. Inhale again. Feel the spread across your back body with that inhale, so you exhale out the mouth with a little more satisfaction. Slide your arms forward. Feel a little bit of a stretch there. Press up into tabletop. You can separate your knees a little bit and tuck your toes in to feel a stretch in the feet. And then drop your belly down and overarch your spine. So what you know to be an arch here, pretend that you're showing somebody how to do it, and do it a little more for yourself. Breathe in. And then over round your spine. And then do it again. Breathe in. And really drop your belly down so there's a little stretch there as you flag your bum back and you look forward, not up. That's enough in the neck body. And then breathe out. And slowly through the breathing out, find more of an expression of rounding your spine and pushing through hands and knees. And come back to a flat back through an inhale. And take your step into downward face dog. It can be a really soft and juicy down dog. And what I mean by that is there a bend in your legs? And is there softness in your feet to the mat? And is there softness in your paws, your hands down? From down dog, walk to the center of your mat so your toes are underneath your hip crease and navel. Take your mat and start to roll your mat towards your toes. Roll, roll, roll. You're creating a poster in your mat. Take 2 steps back. They can be healthy steps. Roll your mat again to your toes. Step the heels of your feet onto the mat with your feet hip-width distance at least. 1 heel at a time. Balls of the feet down, toes down on your floor. Take your props, whether they're bolsters or blocks, and try and put them underneath your hands. And they might be a little lower to the ground, so that's okay. You can template your hands where you can. Or maybe you prop 2 props and you do it that way. Shift the weight into the fronts of the feet that are onto your floor, not your mat, but still ground into your heels and micro bend your legs and sway your hips like a little dance move. As you sway your hips, add in deeper bends into one leg at a time. And then land in center and keep a micro bend in the knees. It's not a deep bend, guys. You're not in chair. You're not working your quads. You're just giving space through the lower back. Feel what is neutral, that kind of center place in your forward fold. And then tuck your chin in and hang your neck a little longer and more weight forward and down. You're kind of folding yourself in half, whatever that fold in half is in your body. If you're having problems letting go of your hands, if you feel more of a holding this position than letting go, maybe you link for opposite elbows and you hang your elbows in space, and that pulls into your shoulders and into the sockets and into your upper back body and lats in a decent way to fold in. Your heels propped up on your poster mat will likely give you more space in the hamstrings if your hamstrings are typically not your friend. But you can be friends with your hamstrings if you breathe in and through and up and down the back of those legs. If you have tension in your shoulders, this is going to pull into that tension. It's going to beg it to release. Each time you feel the fight, I want you to exhale. 2 more breaths. What a wonderful world as you exhale. Just let it go. Let your body go. Together we'll inhale. And together we'll let it go. Exhale. Prop your hands on your props. Feel a little support there as you get your heart up a bit. Almost a halfway lift, enough to bend the legs. To come out of the pose slow, through the bend of the legs and the squat down. Find a beat in this squat, lengthening your spine, getting rid of the round there. For 3, for 2, and bring your hands behind. And step your thigh, one thigh at a time, onto the rolled up poster mat. This serves in the same way as when we put those props underneath our thighs at the front of class. Lie down. On the heels of the end of that song, close your eyes and part your jaw and give up the fight in Shavasana. Have a great Sunday, guys. Thanks for joining. Sweet dreams, sweet Sunday, sweet namaste.